Do you want to know what's really going on in the world right now? Because I want to share some secrets that nobody else is talking about. Hey, I'm Kim and welcome back to the Higher Vibes Tribe community, where we talk about everything law of attraction, manifestation, and becoming your highest self. Today, we're going to be talking about what's really happening in the world. Yeah, we know the situation that is happening, but there's so much more going on behind the scenes that we're not really noticing. So if you want to know what all of that is about, just keep on watching. And I want to start this video off by saying I am not making light of the situation in any way. It is a very serious situation that poses a threat to all of our health and well-being, and I extend my deepest sympathies to anyone and everyone affected by this. But with that being said, there is a lot of other things going on behind the scenes, and it's important to not let ourselves get consumed in this fear that seems to be around us. There are a lot of positive and wonderful things happening as well, and we're going to dive into it right now. So the first side effect that I think is happening from this situation is that we're going to be shifting from a me mindset to a we mindset. We're going to all see our interconnectedness to each other. I was watching a video by Law of Attraction Solutions, which I will link below, and he talks about this so well. He talks about how this situation really highlights and illustrates how similar we are to each other. I mean, we've always been one, we've always been connected, but we don't really see it. He goes on to say that before, a man in America would have pretty much nothing in common with a man in India. But now, because we've all gone through this major event, this kind of even traumatic event, we can all see each other so much more. We can all see how similar we are to each other. We kind of see ourselves in the other person because we've all realized that we kind of all want the same thing. We want to be safe. We want to be happy. We want to be healthy. We want the basics. We're able to see ourselves in that other person. We can feel what they feel. And this allows us to be so much more compassionate towards each other. This situation really just highlights and illustrates that. Another side effect of this is that we're going to be thinking less about what we can get and more about what we can give. Leora Alexandra was talking about this in one of her videos, and I will link it down below. But I've already seen this happening so much. You guys are honestly the sweetest people ever. I've seen so many Instagrams and pictures and posts of people baking and then giving it to their friends, or people dropping off flowers, or there's so many posters or words of encouragement, or how here in Vancouver, and I know in a lot of other cities they're doing this too, how we cheer for the healthcare workers and the essential workers, or people have been reaching out to their neighbors or people in the community just to see what they can do. And I think it's just so sweet, and I really believe that there's going to be a lot more giving that goes on as a result of this situation. So the second side effect of this situation is that I believe a lot of people are either going through or will go through a spiritual awakening. Please don't turn off the video yet. Don't run away, because I feel like people kind of get scared when you mention spiritual awakening. This image comes into their mind that they're going to become this yogi that runs off into the forest and meditates all day and just abandons modern civilization altogether. I mean, that could happen, but it's a lot more of a gradual process for most people. There are tons of different spiritual awakenings, and if you want me to go over those, I'd be happy to do that in another video for you. Just let me know in the comments below. But I really feel that the type of spiritual awakening that I think most people are going to be having is that you're just going to be open to new possibilities and new perspectives. You're going to start asking questions. You're going to question your reality. You're going to ask, what is my purpose on earth? What am I doing here? Are things really the way it seems? You're going to start to consider new perspectives and things that you haven't really before. And a lot of you are going to feel really curious, and you're going to go even deeper into your awakening. And some of you won't, and either one is okay, but I just think we're going to start asking a lot more questions and start wondering, what is it really that we're doing here on earth? So the third side effect of this whole situation is that we are going to become a lot more focused on our environment. So many amazing changes have already been happening. As I'm sure you guys have heard, places that haven't seen a blue sky in years now see clear skies as a result of this decreased pollution, or the canals in Venice are clear, so clear that dolphins are actually swimming in it. I honestly can't believe that. I went to Europe in the summer, and when I looked at the canals, the water was so dirty, so murky, I would not even think of touching it. So to believe and to see that things have changed so drastically in such a short space of time is really just so encouraging. I don't know if you guys have felt this way too, but sometimes I just used to think, wow, we've done so much damage to our planet already. Can we even make a difference? Is it too late? But recent circumstances have shown that is clearly not the case. I just find myself now being so much more conscious, like for example, wasting food. It's not like I ever tried to waste food before, but sometimes it happened. But now I'm just so much more aware and conscious of it, or even with recycling. Now I'm just hyper aware. Oh, this is actual garbage, this is recycling, this is compost. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I feel. Because I also feel like we're gonna start feeling so much of a deeper appreciation for our earth and for nature. Right now, it's the only way a lot of us even leave our houses to go for a walk, to smell the flowers, to smell the fresh air, to feel that sunshine. And now when I've been going out, it just makes me so happy. Let me know in the comments below if you really just felt a lot more invigorated and happy by earth and Mother Nature than you used to. Let me know in the comments below, have you been feeling the same way as me? Have you just been enjoying going outside so much more than you used to? So the next side effect of our current situation right now is that a lot of us are going to turn inwards. Usually when there's a problem or we don't feel our best, we turn to external things to make us feel better. We'll go get a makeover, or we'll go get a haircut, or we'll go buy ourselves some new shoes or new clothes or anything of that sort to try to make ourselves feel better. We always seek that external validation, but now we're not able to get that as easily, so we have to find some other way to make ourselves feel better. And I think a lot of us are just going to turn inwards. We have so much time at home now, so we're kind of forced to ask ourselves these hard questions that we've been putting off for so long. We're going to start to work through our problems because we can't get that external validation as easily as we used to. We're going to ask ourselves those questions. Am I really doing what I want? Am I happy? If I'm not, what is going to make me truly happy? We're going to start realizing what we actually want and what we actually need and find a way to give that to ourselves. Before, we had so many distractions, so we were able to put these things off, but we really just can't anymore. So I think the way that a lot of us seek happiness and our relationships to ourselves are going to change so much. The last side effect of our current situation is that we are going to realize and value what truly matters. So many of us are now waking up to the fact that materialistic things don't matter as much. Having a nice car doesn't matter. Having nice clothes doesn't matter. What is truly important is coming out. How much time we spend with the ones we love, how we spend our free time. Are we happy? Are we healthy? Do we have just the basics? And we're going to realize that the things we value in the past are a lot different than what we now value, and that the reality that we were living is a lot different than the reality that we're going to want to be living. The reality that we had been living doesn't really match with these new values that we're realizing. And I think this is going to change a lot of how our society works and the structures that we have in place. For example, they said so many of our jobs couldn't be done remotely, and yet suddenly they're being done remotely. No commute, no office space, more time for yourself, more time for your friends and family. Of course, this doesn't apply to every job, but it's just some food for thought for how things might change after this whole circumstance. Are people really going to want to spend most of their time physically going to work? Because we know a 9 to 5 is never really a 9 to 5. It's more like a 7 to 7. Just something to think about. So the main takeaway I want you guys to have from all of this is to not be consumed by fear. A lot of things are going to change, but a lot of them are going to be positive. We're going to be a lot more loving, compassionate, and focused on what truly matters in life. If you found this video at all helpful, please like and subscribe, and as always, until next time, sending good vibes your way.